Oh, sorry. I hit a button.
I can't connect to your Wi-Fi network. You can find setup instructions in the help section of your Alexa app.
Is that a question or what? You send Alexa down there, Dan, I'll straighten her out. She'll be connected to something, I don't know what.
Hi, Leroy. My name is Lula from Mill Valley, California, and I want to know if you have ever caught a yellow or blue lobster in a trap before, and if they cook differently from the regular lobsters. Thank you. Bye.
I've caught blue ones, I've caught spotted ones, and I've caught multiple colored ones. And I've cooked and ate them all, and they all turn red when you cook them. And they all taste the same to me. It's a rarity when you get one. Most of the time the guys bring them in because it is rare. And I caught one time, sold him, and the boys at the dock throwed him overboard, and the next day I caught him back again, sold him again, and that went on for 3 days. And finally they didn't throw it overboard no more. That was a good lobster. I'd make money on him.
All right, here we go. Question number 2.
Hi, my name is Erin, and I'm calling from Portland. I work in fishing gear recycling, so I have a few questions about gear. First, Leroy, what's your favorite piece of gear or an item that you can't leave the dock without? And what happens with all of your old pot warp? All right, thank you so much. Good fishing, Leroy.
Well, the first thing that I don't leave the dock without, the most important thing, is my boots and my lunch. That's the two most important things, because the days are long, we leave early, and if you don't take lunch and you don't take boots, you're going to have a long, miserable day. And the second thing, the transfer station has a big pile of rope that they recycle it. A lot of people go up there and get it. They make mats out of it. They make all kinds of stuff out of it. Now, just where it goes finally, I don't really know. Most of it's plastic, so I suppose it is able to melt it down and reuse it. Now, I haven't seen that process. I know we take it up there by the truckloads at times, and if it's a complicated thing, because it depends where you're fishing. If you're fishing offshore, what we call offshore, 10, 15 miles out or more, the line has to be strong because you're fishing 20 traps on the line. You've got to have good rope all the time. If you're in shallow water, 20 fathom, you can cut the line and use the best part of it. So we do reuse a lot of it for beckets for the traps. That's the part that you pull the trap aboard with. And sometimes we go around the meshes with the line, and that protects the mesh or the wire when the trap comes up. If it comes up upside down and hits the boat, it doesn't knock the rubber off the wire. You try to extend the life of your trap. So we use a lot of the line doing that. It's time consuming, but it's time consuming to buy new traps too. So we utilize everything we can. I hope that answers your question.
All right, question number 3.
Hi, Leroy. This is Afton calling from Brunswick, and I'm calling to ask you if you could talk about the difference between Jonah crab and peaky toe crab, and if you've ever fished for crab before, and maybe some of the differences and how things have changed over the years of that industry. I've noticed it's very hard to find peaky toe crab in Maine these days, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Thank you.
Okay, the Jonah crab is got different names. Some people call them rock crabs, some call them stone crabs, some call them Jonah crabs. It's all the same crab. It's a bigger crab, and the shell is much more brittle than the sand crab or the picket toe, as you're calling them. I think the numbers go down on one species or the other depending on the demand for the meat. The ladies that pick the Jonah crab don't like to pick them as well because of the shell being brittle, and you get small pieces of shell in your meat. Even though they try to go through it as carefully as they can, you still get it. And the picket toe, I call them sand crabs, they're tan color. The meat is finer, it's sweeter, and there's more meat in them than there is the Jonah crabs. Now, at a certain time of the year, there isn't much meat in either one because they shed. And when they shed, they're like the lobsters, they got a lot of water in them. So the girls aren't likely to want a lot of the shedders because they don't make as much money, and they got to do the same amount of work to get that meat. And it's a lot wetter. And the other thing that happens is lobsters eat them when they're soft, and depending on the size of the crab that the fisherman keeps, the smaller they are, the quicker you're going to use up your resource. So if you let your crab grow bigger, you will get more meat out of it, of course, and keep your species more active. So I'm a firm believer that things cycle, they come in cycles. Sometimes you go years and you won't see a Jonah crab or rock crab. And other times you go, the last 5 or 6 years when the lobsters were heavy in this area, there wasn't any sand crabs. And the last year that I fished, the sand crabs was probably about the size of a quarter. So that species has started to come back. So it's a matter of time of recycling them when you catch them, throw them back overboard, let them grow, and then you get the benefit of the larger crab and the meat. If I prefer a sandwich, I would like the sand crab over the stone crab. The meat is a lot finer, much more delicate. I hope that answers your question. I encourage you to ask any question that you'd like to have answered. There's no dumb questions. The different fisheries that I've been in that you could ask about is lobstering, crabbing, musseling, clamming, scalloping, gill netting, line fishing, hand lining, okay? So these are some of the things that I have done, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. So let them come. Please call in. Any question you can think of.
Politics, dating.
Politics, dating. I've been married 58 years, so I get tread lightly on dating. so I'm going to keep out of that dating part of the aspect.